How's it going, everyone? It's Harvey from Weather Storm Drop. Today is November 12th, 2021, and today we're going to focus on our next snowstorm that's going to impact the northern Midwest states as well as the Northeast in the very near future. But before I begin, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather-related content. Make sure to like if you like this video. Make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather-related content. So let's begin by taking a look at the GFS model as of right now. And of course, we do see that trough that brought a lot of snow to the northern Midwest, including northern Minnesota and North Dakota. And we are going to see it now drift off into the northeast. We have a line of thunder showers moving through the east coast at this time, along with this cold front. So we're going to see quite temperatures a lot colder throughout the northeast as a result of this cold front moving through, and this will set up for our next snowstorm that's going to happen this weekend for a lot of you guys in the northern Midwest as well as the northeast as well. So take a look at how this how the GFS model unfolds over the next couple hours. You see that this low pressure system moves in the northeast, but it lingers around, which is key because that's going to bring those strong northwesterly winds into the United States to cool down the atmosphere and create just enough of a jet stream dip for an Alberta clipper to move to the southeast and impact a lot of these impact a lot of the northern Midwest states as well as the Northeast with some snow, and it should enhance the instability along the eastern half of the United States for a snowstorm to occur. So if we were to take a look at that, what's interesting is that right around the Saturday morning time or Saturday afternoon time frame, this low pressure sticks around and it sort of creates another cold front or another trough along with it, because there's going to be so much unstable air right around this boundary where the air temperature is a lot colder, to the point where we're going to see a lot more lift and a low pressure system form where it could dump a little bit of early snow for Pennsylvania and upstate New York, and it should certainly bring down temperatures throughout the East Coast once the cold air really moves through behind this cold front. So that's definitely very interesting. We could see even heavier snow amounts right around New Hampshire and Vermont as well, and we could see another quite potent low pressure system form right on the backside of this low pressure system, and it should develop into something that's even stronger than this low pressure system that did form this trough right around the Ohio River Valley. So we should see this form, but by the time it reaches strength that's very concerning, it's going to move out to northeast, so not much to worry about there. But you see that there's going to be a trough that's going to move through the northern Midwest states, and it isn't a very strong low pressure system. It's only at 1,003 millibars, but it is bringing some snow throughout North Dakota and Minnesota as this heads further southeastward. And you see this storm will continue to move further southeastward, and it will also bring some snow into the northeast, especially in the higher elevations. And we should see another trough form as a result of a little bit of lift right around the Gulf Stream that should create another low pressure system. But again, by the time this reaches its full potential or its strongest strength, it should be pretty much out of the United States. So it won't bring as much snow as it would have if it developed a little bit earlier or a little bit faster. But we still should experience some snow as a result of this clipper system moving through the United States. So you might be asking, well, how much snow and is there a possibility we could experience less snow or even more snow than what's currently forecast? So at this point, we're only around 3 to 2 days away from the event, and right around the northern Midwest states are only around 24 hours away before you should start seeing your first snowflakes. So at this point, there shouldn't be any large variations in the forecast. What could make this storm a little stronger is if the jet stream dip or the cold air behind this storm is a little bit more potent than expected. Then that will create a more unstable environment for this low pressure system to be a little bit stronger and dump a little bit more snow with higher snowfall rates. But at this point, it doesn't seem like we're going to see such drastic contrasts or such a drastic change in terms of the instability than what's currently forecast. So I wouldn't place my bets that we're gonna see a change. I'll bring a lot more snow for you guys in the northern Midwest states and the Northeast. We can't rule it out because, of course, weather is unpredictable. But at this point, it seems like this will mainly dump a light amount of snow over a large area of the northern Midwest states. But for a lot of you guys, it still should be the first snowfall for you guys. And even if this snow isn't necessarily going to be extremely major, we can't completely disregard 1 to 3 inches of snow at the same time, especially when it's going to impact bigger cities such as Chicago and Milwaukee and Minneapolis, where you could experience your first snowfall, and it should stick onto the roads, which could cause some havoc on the roads for this weekend. So you might need to keep in mind of that throughout the northern Midwest states. And you see, as this moves in the Northeast, the snowfall area sort of weakens as it loses a little bit of its instability. And we're gonna see the snow pressure some sort of lose a lot of its cold air, or lose contact with a lot of the warm, humid air that's centered over the Gulf Stream by the time it reaches the Northeast. So it shouldn't be as strong as it could be. So the snowfall will be limited throughout the Northeast as well. Now, taking a look at the forecasted snowfall from the GFS model at this time, if we were to take a look at that, you see that the GFS model is taking some areas where they're receiving heavy amounts of snow. If you were to take a look at the snowfall forecast over the next 3 days, you see that a large area is in the GFS model's case is experiencing around 3 to 6 inches of snow, with some areas closer to the Great Lakes of Michigan and even northern Indiana could receive 6 to 10 inches of snow, and we could see 6 to 10 inches of snow in Pennsylvania and the higher elevations of New York if the GFS model were to be true. However, we need to take this snowfall forecast with a grain of salt at the same time, because for one thing is that the GFS model assumes that the snow will fall with a ratio that 1 inch of rain equates to 10 inches of snow, and we can't go by that ratio all the time with any specific snowstorm, because there are some snowstorms where it really only takes an equivalent of 1 inch of rain to dump only 5 inches of snow, depending on the moisture content within each snowflake. So we can't go by this ratio all the time. So that certainly should limit the forecast if the ratio isn't 1 to 10. And it's very well possible it might be because the temperatures are going to be quite high while it snows, which means that there's more likely to be more moisture content within each snowflake than it would if the temperatures were a little bit cooler. And another thing is that the GFS model only pretty much forecasts the amount of snow that falls from the sky and not really the amount that sticks to the ground. And of course, since this will be our first snowfall for a lot of you guys this year, and we're still early in the winter, the surface is still very warm to right now, and it's gonna take a while before snow actually starts sticking on the ground. So the snowfall should be less than what the GFS model is forecasting, so take this with a grain of salt. But this is a general idea of where exactly you should receive an area of 1 to 3 inches for the most part, with some areas going to 3 to 6, which is more likely in the purples, where you're likely to experience 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. So make sure to keep that in mind. And in terms of the East Coast, the Northeast coast, you see that you're missing out on much of the snowfall, but I wouldn't rule out the chance that you could receive at least a couple of snowflakes for this weekend, depending on how much cold air and how much moisture goes down right around the Interstate 95 corridor, which includes New York City, Philadelphia, Boston, and Baltimore. Maybe you could receive your first snowflakes this year from this storm. Right now it seems unlikely, but you can't rule it out at the same time, since temperatures, especially Saturday night, will be cold enough right around the freezing mark. So that's definitely something you want to keep in mind right around the metropolitan areas of the East Coast that you could receive your first snowfall. It's pretty much impossible you're going to experience any sort of accumulating snowfall, but maybe at least a couple snowflakes. It's certainly possible. Taking a look at what the European model is saying when it comes to snowfall, you're going to see that it's very similar to the GFS model, which definitely helps that, which pretty much helps the confidence with this forecast, and you see that. But the European, interestingly, is taking a little bit less snow further southward, as the GFS model wants to bring the snow further southward, where it impacts more Chicago and northern Indiana. But we're still seeing a large area of 3-6 inches of states, and we should see that snow later extend into the interior Northeast. So you guys want to certainly keep this in mind, that this weekend you should experience the first snowfall for a lot of you guys. In terms of my snowfall forecast, I'm forecasting a large area of 1 to 3 inches throughout the northern Midwest states. This includes Cleveland, Ohio, Chicago, and we could see snow in the higher elevations, accumulating snow in the higher elevations in the Northeast. Outside of the 1-3 inch mark, 1 to 3 inch area, you could still receive your first snowflakes, but at this point, it's unlikely that you're going to see accumulating snowfall. But outside of the 1 to 3 inch area, you could still receive your first snowflakes. So keep that in mind and keep your hopes up in case you're hoping for some snow, because it's certainly possible you could experience your first snowfall. And right around Michigan, you could receive around 3 to 6 inches of snow, which is still which could be significant for you guys. Make sure to prepare for heavy snowfall, because you can't disregard 3 to 6 inches, as it could cause havoc on the roadways for this weekend. But yeah, guys, I guess that's it for this video. I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather-related content. Make sure to like if you like this video. Make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather-related content. And I hope you guys have a good day.